Welcome to Inside News. I'm Marcel. Today is Thursday, October 16th, 2025, and these are the major stories shaping Africa. We begin tonight with major developments across the continent. In North Africa, a series of critical events are unfolding, showcasing the region's complex dynamics. From high-stakes diplomacy aimed at resolving conflict to violent civil unrest over environmental neglect, the region is a focal point of tension and transformation. At the same time, significant economic and cultural achievements offer a contrasting narrative of progress. These developments are pivotal, influencing both regional stability and Africa's broader relationship with the world. We begin in Cairo, where diplomatic efforts are underway to address the crisis in Sudan. Sudanese General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan met with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi in Cairo today. Their discussions focused on two urgent issues: finding viable solutions to the devastating war in Sudan and forging a unified stance on the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. Both leaders attribute recent flooding in their countries to the dam's construction, adding a layer of complex hydropolitics to their crisis management talks. While leaders in Cairo focused on regional stability, public anger over domestic neglect erupted into violence in Tunisia. In the southern city of Gabes, protests against a state-owned phosphate processing plant turned violent after police used tear gas to disperse demonstrators, resulting in a number of injuries. The immediate trigger was a recent gas leak that hospitalized dozens, but residents have protested for years against elevated cancer rates and environmental damage. A 2017 government pledge to relocate the facility remains unfulfilled. And in Morocco, a different story is unfolding, one of economic and sporting success. The nation is celebrating a record-breaking tourism season, having welcomed 15 million visitors by the end of September, a 14% increase from the same period in 2024. The government is capitalizing on this trend by developing upscale infrastructure and has announced a new $75 million plan to expand tourism in Ouarzazate, the gateway to the Sahara. On the sporting front, there is national jubilation after Morocco's under-20 football team, the Atlas Cubs, made history. They have reached the FIFA U-20 World Cup final for the first time ever after a dramatic victory over France in a penalty shootout. From North Africa, we turn now to Central Africa, and from the Democratic Republic of Congo, the nation's former president has resurfaced. Joseph Kabila has made his first public appearance since being sentenced to death in absentia for treason and war crimes for collaborating with the M23 rebel group. He was seen in Nairobi, Kenya, signing a declaration with other opposition figures to form a new political movement. Kabila's party has called the verdict politically motivated. We move next to East Africa. Our East Africa report presents a stark contrast of national mourning and deepening crisis. As Kenya grieves a political giant who helped shape its democracy, neighboring Sudan faces a catastrophic public health emergency spiraling out of control. These stories provide a powerful lens into the region's political evolution and its profound humanitarian vulnerabilities. First, to Kenya, where the nation has begun a period of mourning. The body of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga arrived in Nairobi today, met by a massive and emotional crowd of thousands, who gathered to pay tribute. Odinga, who died at 80, was a champion of multi-party democracy and a five-time presidential candidate. His former rival, President William Ruto, has declared a 7-day national mourning period, calling his passing an immense and immeasurable loss. Meanwhile, in Sudan, a humanitarian crisis is worsening. The World Health Organization is sounding the alarm over a severe cholera outbreak. Nationwide, there are now 120,496 reported cases and 3,368 deaths. The WHO warns that the fatality rate of 2.8% is nearly 3 times the emergency threshold, signaling the outbreak is spiraling beyond control. This health crisis is directly linked to the ongoing war, which has left millions without access to clean water, sanitation, and essential health care. Finally, we turn to developments in Southern Africa. Our final regional report from Southern Africa focuses on profound political instability and a critical public health emergency. Events in Madagascar and Lesotho highlight the fragility of democratic institutions and the devastating consequences that shifts in international policy can have on the continent's most vulnerable populations. The African Union has taken decisive action against Madagascar. The bloc has suspended the island nation with immediate effect following a military coup that ousted President Andry Rajoelina. Colonel Michael Randrianarina has been named as the leader set to be sworn in. The coup has a sharp irony. It was led by the very same military unit that helped bring Andry Rajoelina to power years ago. The takeover was preceded by weeks of youth-led protests against widespread poverty, government corruption, and the rising cost of living. And in Lesotho, a devastating health crisis is unfolding. Recent and massive cuts in United States foreign aid following the Trump administration's decision to freeze assistance have left citizens living with HIV in a desperate situation. Health clinics are shutting down and staff are being laid off, forcing patients to travel for hours only to find essential services unavailable. This comes after years of progress, in which Lesotho successfully met the UNAIDS 95-95-95 treatment targets. Experts, including the chairperson of the country's Legislative Health Committee, warn the cuts have set the nation's progress back by at least 15 years. Those are tonight's leading stories from Africa. Thank you for watching Inside News. I'm Marcel. Stay informed, stay connected, and have a good night.